a professional song, I'm really doing fine changes. So what's sort of crazy about it, it's backwards. Just like Pharrell said from the Neptunes, the people that need this equipment don't have it, and the people that have this equipment really don't need it. It's true, but we get to use it, and thank God for it. But what I started to find out was, where my thought was going here, is we need to understand that it's not, you should overlook the mixing process. You should never overlook it. I've done a lot of masters in the last year that I know for a fact, with the budget, I couldn't do anything. But I could have totally changed that song just by doing the basic stuff of tuning instruments, gating instruments, compression, attack, and release time on that instrument, not on that stem, and we could have made such a better mix. But the problem is, any professional mixing engineer is going to want at least $700 because it's a long process, and it's a lot of time, and it's a lot of effort. There's a lot of recalls. Most of the time, it's not just the initial day that we're mixing it. It's the day or two after that we're holding the studio up. If there's a guy out there or a woman out there that says they're going to mix your song for less than $100 and you think $700 is expensive, note to yourself, they're changing volumes and they're doing something you could do at your house. So please be advised, $700 is a very low rate for a mix. Okay, back to the video. In the hip-hop field. Now, in the rock field, it's totally different because these guys understand it. They understand music like that. And I'm not saying rock guys are better. I'm just saying that they pay attention to tone of their instruments more than a lot of hip-hop guys do, especially rappers paying for their own project. So in this case, I'm going to take a basic 250 hertz tone. Now, this is relative to my voice, but if you notice the bottom end of my voice, it does have a little rasp to it, right? So as a mixing engineer, amazing mixing engineers are going to pick up on that, and they're going to say, what can we do to complement that? So let's say you have a synth in your song, but this is just a tone. So right now I feel like I'm out in the middle of nowhere. Like, as a mixing engineer, it drives me nuts. But just by adding this simple octaver, I don't even know why they call it that, now I feel like I'm in the song. That is more present, it's more even with me, it's more confined with me, the sound is better, and now I feel blended with the instrument without changing the volume of it, just changing the frequencies. See, if I take it off, now I just sound like, it sounds flat, it sounds muffled. Now if you add a kick drum in that same frequency range, which happened yesterday, something's gonna be missing, and it's not the stem master that's gonna fix it. It's not the mastering that's gonna fix it. The only way to fix it would be to add the correct tone to it. It's a crazy thing. So if you do this, now you add a sharp kick drum, nice 5K. If you hear the K in my voice, if we get a kick to sound the same tone of that, I'm gonna sound like I'm in the pocket, and it's just gonna be an amazing sounding song. If you don't have a clue what I'm talking about, maybe you need to start paying attention to that more. What's crazy with this day and age is we do promote the stem master, we do promote the mastering. But there's so many times where in the last year, over the 3,000 songs that I've done, that the professional musicians that I do work with, they cannot attest enough to go back into the mix. They want to get it in the mix. And just doing what I did in this basic video was, just alter a few frequencies. Whether it's with reverb, whether it's with rooms, compression, dynamics, when we get into the mix, we can take time on each individual thing. The number one thing that'll happen if you're not happy with the master is you're not really happy with the mix. And it's never been that you're not happy with the quality of the master. I've never heard anybody say that. Everybody goes, man, the sound quality is fantastic. That's what mastering is all about, to create and bring out the best in everything. But what people do say, it's not going to work. I had a gentleman just do this last night, and this is probably the third time in over 3,000 songs where I didn't ask him to get into the mix because he didn't have the budget to. And really, in this case, he needed to. So if we do say that to you, it's not that we're judging you as a musician. We're judging your quality. And we want to bring the best sounding music, whether it's just tightening a kick drum right, it's timing a kick drum right, it's comping out a snare drum, it's quantizing vocals or elongating certain vocal takes to create the best possible song. That's why it costs more. And it is, if you look at it this way, if you value your music and you have plans for your music and you want the world to see your music, don't look at yourself, look at them, look at the people around you, and then for a second start looking at yourself as a business, and look at yourself as doing business of sharing your music to the world. And I just think that so many times we overlook this, and we get so lost in the money that you have, you know. And I do make the mastering more affordable. The stem mastering has become super popular because it does give us more control, and it allows us, if you do the correct stems of things you were having problems with in the mix, we may be able to get it to that point. But mixing is going to give us the whole entire session and allow us to do our job correctly. I just wanted to do this video not to condemn people, not to judge people. I myself personally am still learning as a mixing engineer, but I have worked on and been fortunate to work on some professional albums, and it always comes down to the mix was done proper the first time, whether they spent $1,500, $2,000, sometimes $10,000. The mastering engineer comes in to oversee that and make sure to enlighten and actually give a better an overall presentation to the whole entire album. A lot of times now, mastering is becoming mixing, and there's things that I can't do because I don't have control. It's almost like, hey, I want a red paint job on my car, but you already painted it black. And if we could go back into when they were building the car, which would be the mixing stage, we can make the car red. You see what I'm saying? And that's the key here. So I hope as musicians, independent musicians, you start taking this a little more serious. And if there's a guy out there that's claiming to mix your song for $50, run, because it's a lot of work. It's time consuming. It's like building a house, and we take it very serious, and we take a lot of time to do it. So just think about that next time that you plan on making a great song. Plan on getting a great mixing engineer, and then plan on getting a great mastering engineer, and watch how your career takes off in a way you never thought. Because music's powerful, mixing's powerful, and mastering is powerful. And if you have great music and you have confidence and you have a God-given hope and pray that your music's going to work out, it will. I do not want to charge somebody a bunch of money to see them go broke. That's not my goal. My goal is to see you as a successful musician. That's it. And for the one or two guys that say, well, not everybody has $700 to mix a song, that just proves my point of what I just said. Have some faith that you can make it happen. I'm a firm believer in that. If you feel called to do music, spend the money on it. I believe full-heartedly you'll get paid back. Absolutely.